but in a few moments we will be practicing on the mat here. So whether you can join me today for a yoga class or whether you come back and watch the recording, please do like, subscribe, follow, text, contact, email, stay in touch, and I'll be here very regularly live streaming from my lovely little studio. So yeah, if you don't have time today, remember you can catch the recording at another time. Thanks very much while I get the rest of the live streams sorted out here and the rest of the technology done. I must admit, I do love all of this stuff now, how fantastic it is to be able to share technology with people. We'll share your practice with people via technology. Let's go live on that one and press go live on that one. Getting green lights. Things are saying it's working. I've got images and pictures. So I think I'm good to go. I'm going to go and scoot over to my mat. And have a seat. So I would encourage you to gather up some yoga props. I've got 2 blocks beside me and a cushion underneath my seat. So I've elevated my hips and my knees can soften below the pelvis. Arriving here with a bolster or a blanket that's nice and thick and rolled up. Today's practice will be another slow yin style practice, as I'm still recovering from a virus and it is very hard to move dynamically like I normally would. So feel free to enjoy a slow yin style practice with me this morning, or perhaps this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. But if you are ready to begin your practice, let's just find ourselves in our comfortable seat, cross-legged, elevated hips under a cushion or a pillow or a block, and close down your eyes and bring your awareness into the breath. So let the inhales arrive, feeling up the lungs, widening the torso and the chest with that abundance of the breath. Just letting that breath maintain that awareness for a moment before we release it back to the universe. Exhale out the mouth. Just find some natural, wonderful, enjoyable breaths on your own. Soothing into the nervous system. For me, a particularly potent word there, the nervous system. I'm recovering from a virus that is the re-emergence of the chickenpox virus in adults called shingles, and it attacks your nerves. And it's particularly painful. Take a couple of breaths to ease into the subtle body. Take your awareness from the fabric of your skin through the contours of your muscles and into the web of your nerves. And if you're like me, you can identify areas that feel abundant and flowing with energy and positive charge. And I can definitely identify areas that are resistant and sticky and in the maintenance mode, repair, recover. So just take a couple of moments here to be an observer to how your body feels And make sure you generate that awareness from the heart space, filled with compassion and kindness. A few more breaths here. And begin to bring your hands into Namaskar Mudra at the heart space. Draw your chin towards your chest. Welcome yourself here with a moment of gratitude, an awareness of thankfulness that resonates in the body deeply and profoundly. And thanking it for its ability to move you around the world and do the things that it can do. Many of us strive to win the lottery for purposes that we don't necessarily understand, but in fact when we think about it, we've already won the lottery. Be very grateful for what we have. Gratitude is a big part of every day's practice. Santosha. Contentment. I am enough. Let's begin with an Om here. So inhale through the nose. Start to rub the hands together and create friction and warmth across the palms. And once you feel like that warmth is generated to a point where you feel that Agni, the fire, beginning to spark, place the hands over the eyes and absorb the nourishment of that warmth. And in the process, recognize the vivid nature of the patterns behind the eyelids. And then as you start to peel the hands away, begin to peel the eyes open. And as you arrive in your space, lower your hands down onto your knees, and let's move through the spine now with the hands on the knees. So on your inhale breath, lift the chin, look up and open the throat, but use the hands on your knees to help lengthen the spine. And then with the exhale breath, we're doming the back, C-shaped spine, chin to chest, belly button in. And again, you're using the hands to create this deep sense of reciprocity between the shoulders, the upper back, and the spine. So it's just this natural fluid movement now. Extension and flexion. Lifting the head, inhale. And you always think about in yoga an extension or lengthening practice being an inhale breath. And when we draw ourselves in and we make ourselves smaller, we exhale. And that gives us that space for letting go. So the inhale reminds us of the abundance of the prana vayu, the movement inside of our body. And then with the exhale, it's the apana vayu, this downward current of releasing, of letting go, waste removal. One more here. We'll move a little more dynamically now that we have awoken the spine. So cactus your arms, spread the fingers wide, proud the chest. And on an inhale, we retract the shoulder blades. We open the heart forward. And then with the exhale breath out your mouth, fist the hands and the body into that rounded shape again. So it's more or less the same movement in the spine. We're just adding a little bit more integrity with the arms. So out the mouth, and then the inhales through the nose. Another couple here, moving with natural intelligence. There is so much wisdom in the spine, so much intelligence in the Shakti energy of Kundalini. as she rises from the bowl of your pelvis and begins to snake her way through the chakras and allow them to lubricate and spin with more vibrancy and vitality. You can feel that energy rising now through the spine. And one more here to peel open with that beautiful big inhale. Widening the chest. And then from here, let's twist around to the left. So right hand lowers down to left knee, left hand behind you. And that exhale facilitates the movement in the spine. And then on the inhale, we come back to center ever so slightly. And then exhale, we take that same rotation around to the left. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, find the length, lift and reach. And then exhale, twist, rotate, and rinse and cleanse. And then as you come back to center, take your right arm directly out in front of you. Exaggerate the lift of the left arm over the top. So option one would be to hold your shoulders or eagle arms with the arms in front of you, fingertips lifting. Lift the elbows to shoulder height, but feel the grounding down and the weight spread evenly across the buttocks underneath you, right? So we're finding more length here along the spine. And with the forearms, we want to start to press them forward to the room in front of you and press the heart and lungs to the wall behind you. So we're just looking for this two-way movement, forward and back here. And then with the hands, can we lift them a little higher so the elbows rise a little higher and we start to move into those sticky shoulder joints where all of the typing and the modern day life of reading our technology gets into that area. So it's a beautiful stretch for that part of the body. Now lower elbows to shoulder height, take them fingers over to the 1 o'clock position, which will be a good stretch through the shoulders, and we'll go through center and we'll take it over to the 11 o'clock position through that midnight movement. Yeah? Okay, nice. Now unravel, uncross, untwist, reach up, inhale, lower the right hand down onto a block or a prop beside you, and take your left hand over your head to your right ear and start to draw the head over to the left. The SCM musculature across the side of the neck gets a little sticky, so this should feel super sweet. But again, we're not tugging or pulling or heaving the head to the left. We're just gently encouraging it, moving with the breath, opening up and hydrating the tissues. Good. One more breath there, and we'll just do all that on the other side. So inhale, sweep up, reach up, fingertips to the ceiling. Exhale, twist around to the right. So left hand lowers, and there's leverage there with that hand. We start to twist it. We rotate, coming back to center ever so slight. With the inhale, we find more length. We ground down, and we twist around to the right again. One more there. Inhale, breath. And exhale, deepen that twist. Rinsey, cleansing movement through the spine. Good. Now as we come back to center, exaggerate that left arm straight out in front of you. Right arm up and over. There's the cross. There's the shoulder holds, or we could do the binds into eagle arms. If eagle arms is there, we're lifting. Elbows are shoulder height. We're pressing the forearms forward, and we're pressing the heart and lungs back behind us. And it gives you that two-way movement. It increases the three-dimensional aspect of your yogic breath here. We've created all of this kind of like hugging in, but we've got room for the breath because it's massaging all of the musculature. Let's take those fingertips over to the left, through your center and over to the right. There's that beautiful movement. Uncross, unravel, sweep up, reach up and rise up. And then lower left hand down onto your block. Right arm reaches, it bends over the head, and it takes your head over to the right. So with the virus that I've had called shingles, it got into the neck muscles and it was very painful. So this feels really nice. But the extraordinary thing is that they say that the initial uncomfortableness gets worse and worse and worse. And it was really interesting because even though the external identification of the virus is gone, these sort of small little blisters that you get, the pain is still there. It's in the nervous system. So yeah, I don't wish it on anyone, shingles, but unfortunately a lot of us get it. All right, let's begin to find our way into some pranayama work now. So breath work. Again, if you've just joined me, today's practice is a very mellow, very grounding practice, more like a yin class. Alum Valum here. So alternate nostril breathing, where we go in through one nostril, we exhale out the other by blocking the opposite nostril. And then that nostril that just exhaled, we draw the air back in, and then we go back out through the opposite. So think of creating a V, inverted V shape back and forth. Take your peace fingers of your right hand to your third eye, and it's a gentle blockage of your nose, okay? The more you press, the more likely you're going to get sticky and gooey with it, okay? So let's just take 2 breaths to prepare. So in through nose, and out through nose, back in through nose, and out through nose. Okay, gently close the right nostril with thumb and inhale through left. Softly, gently close the left, exhale right as you open it up. Inhale back through right. Close the right softly, open the left, and exhale there. Inhale left. Close the left, exhale right. Off you go. So just moving in and out through the open nostril, closing it, opening the opposite, and then moving in and out of that one. Flowing, breathing in and out. What are we thinking about here in this practice? This is a solar and lunar channel communication device where we allow that pair of opposites we know as Ida and Pingala, the lunar and solar channels, to allow that journey for them to move upwards from the pelvic bowl. Again, they're smashing through limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, unwanted blockages, unwanted stickiness. This is also helping to identify how at certain times of our days, one side of our nose is different to the other. Do we need to be cooled by the nostrils, or do we need to be warmed by them? The body knows. There's natural intelligence. The hemispheres of the brain are getting a beautiful shining polishing here as the breath comes and goes. And you've completed your final cycle there. Lower the hands down onto the knees. Just take a moment. Anchor yourself down, lengthen through the spine. Our first pose today will be our seated forward fold. So if you do have yoga props, gather them up now. I'm just removing the cushion from underneath me because I prefer to sit on a block when I do my forward bend. And I'm going to take my rolled up blanket and place it behind my knees. So Yin Yoga is about tuning into sensation, learning to stay, and deepening your breath. So finding the stillness through the breath. So in this position, elevated hips, bent knees. Take a moment just to proud the chest and then start to fold down forward. And I'm not encouraging you here to hold on to anything or tug and pull. I'm encouraging you to place your hands beside you and just let the palms face the ceiling in a passive gesture where the fold just begins to create compression and the body gives in to the field of gravity. The body also is tendency to have tension. It wants to protect you from overstretching or causing injury. That's the nervous system's response. And that's why we learn to stay in our Yin Yoga classes, because the connective tissue of the body, the nervous system, just requires a little bit of gentle coercion into understanding that we are doing something beneficial. We're not compromising the body. We're not drastically falling or having a moment where our balance is lost. We are just simply allowing ourselves to breathe and let the body know through the breath that everything's okay. And in the stillness and the silence, can you bring yourself into the awareness of your breath? What's the quality of that breath? Where do you feel that the breath is flowing at its most optimum? Towards the back of your chest, or to the sides, or the front of the chest? Perhaps you can feel how the breath can massage the spine on the way in, and visualize it as though it's like a balloon filling up with air as it flows in and around and expands. And the exhale releases and it softens. And as you give into the field of gravity here, let the head hang heavy. There's no need to look at the screen, just let yourself find this fold. Find into the compression that allows for a momentary blockage of energy, so that we may encourage the energy to flow freely in a moment or two when we head on out of the pose. Final 10 breaths here in your forward fold. Letting the shoulders soften, the arms feel weightless and passive. The fingers release any tension, and the toes the same. It's a journey that takes its time to complete. Yin Yoga is not about instant gratification or satisfaction. It's about dedicated, regular practice. As we take our final few breaths here, just begin to prepare to move your body again. So just allow those breaths to come and go. And then wait for the next inhale breath, and that's an allowance of the buoyancy to help roll the chest up, and it just takes its time. And yeah, no rushing, no slingshot. And it should feel good to arrive in an upright position. Place your hands behind you. I like to lean back here a little, and you can definitely lean into the bones of your body, right? Yin tissues are very much the bones. And even proud the chest. Oh, that feels good. Squeezing the shoulder blades behind you. I'm going to remove the bolster and the block from underneath me. Keep the left leg lengthened and hug the right knee in. And first of all, just give it a squeeze. Bring it in. Lovely big squeeze and cuddle. And then lift the foot over the left leg. So right foot over the left leg. Take a moment to proud the chest here. Hold the shin. And then reach towards me with the left hand and hinge the elbow around the shin and place the right hand behind you. Taking a moment now to find our twist. So we've already done one twist, but this one adds a little bit more dynamism. But how do we find the softness here? The softness could be in the eyes, it could be in the quality of your breath, it could be definitely in the quality of your thoughts. With our twists, I don't generally hold them as long. So let's just take 5 more slow, deliberate inhales and exhales. Whether you want to take some out the mouth, I don't mind. But you can definitely, in a twist, recognize how the inhale lengthens the spine and you find that integrity. And maybe with that exhale, we just take a little deeper twist. Now, as you come back to center, take your fingertips around to the opposite side of your body and just counter twist. It doesn't do anything. It just feels so good. So just take that around. And then as you come back to center, lift the right foot and place it on the inside of your left thigh. So we can take a seated tree position. I actually like to take myself more through the center of my pelvis rather than going down that left leg. I prefer this shape. So feel free to take that variation. I'm going to take a couple of props out in front of me as well so that I can lower down and find my forehead or my torso on those props. So seated tree with our right foot in our inner upper left thigh. Passive left toes, proud chest lifted, and then I'm going to start to walk myself forward and I'm going to roll myself down and I'm going to let my head hang and just let that stretch. I'm looking at the inner thigh here for me of that left leg. Definitely getting some sensation. Noticing how the spine has this waterfall-like effect here. The inner thighs are said to be one of those areas where a lot of stickiness, a lot of tenderness comes through. So just be patient with that part of your body if that's where you're feeling it. The architectures of our own bodies is unique, incredible, beautiful, wonderful. So whether you feel it where I feel it is purely by chance. We live really busy lives. We have a tendency to associate our value and our worth according to the busyness. It's curious, you can ask people how they're going and the answer is actually, oh, we've been really busy. But, how are you? And I don't really think we should be identifying as busy. We should be identifying as joyful and happy and abundant and wonderful. But our society seems to place much more importance on that busyness. So here we are taking our time to find some stillness in amongst that busyness. And it's okay if your mind's racing. It's okay if you've got things on your mind. But if you can, thank those things for showing up. Tell them that I've got 20 more minutes. I'll get back to you then. The value for me is just letting myself be present, connecting with my breath. Because guess what? Those things are going to be there. It's okay. Last moment here in our seated tree with the variations in the fold. Before we start to walk the hands back, we'll find an inhale breath, and with that a moment we find that lift in the head. Just recalibrate in an upright position, and if that includes leaning back, as I've said before, lean into the bones of your body, move through the head, move through the shoulders, move through the neck, And take yourself into a position where you step the feet out wide and proud the chest, ground through the sit bones, and do some little windscreen wipers. Should feel super nice in the hips. Left and right, left and right. And then I'll square myself against the front of the room again, and we'll bend the left knee, lift the left thigh, and step the left foot over the right as we head through the opposite side. So right arm reaches for you, forward, and it rotates around. You can draw the chin in towards your chest, you can lift the head, you can close the eyes. In fact, I do encourage you to close the eyes, because generally the eyes want to move the head, and you think you're twisting further when you're looking around with the eyes. You can do a little bit of yoga with your eyes if you like. You can move the eyes around behind the eyelids, left and right, up and down. Round and round. And then when you've had enough of that, just let yourself rest here for a moment in this stillness and the cleansing nature of the twist. One of the things that I first thought Yin Yoga was all about was like becoming a puddle of water, right? Just, oh, everything has to be switched off. But actually the body requires effort and ease, and it's about balancing those two aspects. Moments of effort and moments of ease. So in some respects, there's moments of effort in a yin pose, while we encourage areas of the body to find deep senses of ease and relaxation and restoration as you recharge the batteries of the body. Because heaven knows we do a lot of work to help our devices stay up to date and tuned up. Always pressing software update, or charging it when you think you're not going to have enough charge. But no, don't worry about you. You can just keep going. Soldier on. Well, recharge yourself here for a few moments while we just take a last little breath here in the twist. And again, if it feels nice in your body to do that corkscrew around, it really doesn't do anything, but just feels good. Oh, yeah. And then as you come back, let's take our seated tree here. So it's that left foot slides into the upper right thigh. I'm going to gather up my little props, my little tower of blocks. I keep wanting to call them bricks. I actually think the cork ones are bricks. I think the blocks are the rubber ones. Proud the chest. And then when you're ready, find the variation of the fold that serves you. I need some more padding here because this side's my dodgy side. One thing that I've noticed over the years is when you look at some of the footage of people and think, why can't I do that? It just doesn't get you anywhere. You've got to bring back that sense of contentment through the Santosha practice and just recognize that there's things that you can do really, really well. You're an expert in the field of you, but also in other things. So whether you can pancake your body here has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of your practice. Or whether you're like me and you've lifted yourself up and you've got 4 or 5 things underneath you to find a degree of comfort. And just give yourself a moment, a pat on the back. Feel that warm touch of your of a hand. It's just saying, well done. Actually trying to think if it's Wednesday or Thursday today. I can't think. I think it's Wednesday. I think it's hump day. For those of you that work Monday to Friday, people like me that work casually, shifts all the time, no real identification of what a weekend feels like over the past 20 years for me. We all have different lives. We all have different relationships. But the best thing to focus on is in that relationship with ourselves. The quality of that relationship, the quality of the thoughts. How can we share from a cup that is drained of positivity by ourselves? So just take a moment to find some gratitude and thankfulness for your beautiful body. Thank yourself for carving out this time in your morning to practice, to breathe, to stretch, to hydrate, to awaken. And as you start to take your final breath in your seated tree position, take your next inhale to start to roll yourself up and place your hands behind you. And if it felt nice before, to lean back and just take that moment into the bones of your body, please do. And then seated butterfly from here, I'm going to sit on a block. Soles of feet come to touch. Now with the soles of the feet, take the thumbs and dig in. I know that sounds strong and violent, but it's not. Use the thumb now. Dig into the soles of your feet. Awaken all of the energy on the soles of the feet, because guess what they have to do all day? They have to walk us around. They have to help us move and navigate. They feel the forces of gravity quite profoundly. So just take a moment and see if you can recognize those points where there's deep, deep tissue release. Often it's between the big pads at the top of the feet. Hopefully you don't have any foot phobias here, because they are your own feet. It's okay. Along the arches of the feet, about halfway down the foot, go in a few centimeters, and there's a deep spot right in the middle of the foot there. And then from here, hold the feet like a book and do your little flaps of your wings. And then start to fold yourself forward. Round the back, chin to chest. Feel into the weight of the body across the buttocks. See if you can spread that evenly. There's no forcefulness in the knees. We're not pressing down. We're passive in the legs. We're using the bones to create the architecture of the shape. Thanks to the fact that there's going to be uniqueness in all of the way that our thigh bones enter our hip sockets. Just letting the volume of your breath expand and feel into the contours of the spine, the accordion-like nature of the ribs as they separate and stretch the fascia and the connective tissue and the muscles. Five more long, steady breaths. And then when that final breath has left your body, start to roll your torso up. Cross the right leg in, cross the left leg in. I don't mind what combination you do. Come into your seat, place your hands on your knees and close down your eyes. Now, if your morning includes time and space for Shavasana, you're very, very welcome to take it. But for me, it'll be from here moving out into the world and preparing for my day. So wherever you're at, just let's take a few moments together to scan through the body from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head and notice how your body feels now. Hope there's a sense of harmony and balance as well as vibrancy and vitality. And then bring your hands to your heart space, draw your chin towards your chest. Thank yourself as you bow forward and remind yourself how wonderful and awesome you are. Thank each other for sharing their energy with me and you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Greet this beautiful version of yourself and the remainder of your wonderful day with the Hindi word Namaste. Thanks for your practice today, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you again tomorrow morning, same time, same channel, whether that be TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever that is. But yes, I'm still recovering from shingles, and it is taking time. So very slow, very, very deliberate practice at the moment. Bye for now. Thanks, Annabelle. Appreciate that. Feel free to follow me and catch up again. I'll be here tomorrow morning as well. So, bye. All right. Goodbye over there at